Chapter 26. Browen, Sunday, November 4th, 10 a.m. We're quite the crew at Until Proven offices Sunday morning. Me, Miss Macaulay, and my mom, who was willing to let me go but not unsupervised. The small, sparsely furnished space is overflowing with each desk holding at least two people. Everyone's either talking urgently on the phone or pounding away at a computer, sometimes both. Busy for a Sunday? I comment as Eli leads us into a tiny room crammed with a small table and chairs. Eli's hair seems to have grown 3 inches since he was on Mikhail Powers Investigates, all of it upward. He runs a hand through the mad scientist's curls and sends them even higher. Is it Sunday already? They're in a chair, so I sit on the floor. Sorry, Eli says. We can make this quick. First off, Miss Macaulay, I'm so sorry about your son's arrest. I understand he's been remanded to a juvenile detention center instead of an adult facility, which is good news. As I told Brown, there's not much I can do given my current workload, but if you're willing to share whatever information you have, I'll do what I can to provide suggestions and maybe a referral. Mrs. Macaulay looks exhausted, but she's made an effort to dress up in navy pants and a lumpy gray cardigan. My own mother is her very usual effortless chic in leggings, tall boots, and a cashmere sweater coat, and subtly patterned infinity scarf. Two of them couldn't be more different, and Miss Macaulay tugs at the frayed hem of her sweater as though she notes it. Well, here's what I've been told, she says. The school received a call that Nate had drugs in his locker. From who? Eli asked, scribbling on a yellow notepad. They wouldn't say. I think it was anonymous, but they went ahead and removed his lock Friday after school to check. They didn't find any drugs, but they did find a bag with Simon's water bottle, and an EpiPen. And all the EpiPens from the nurse's office that went missing the day he died. I run my fingers along the rough fiber of the rug, thinking of all the times Addie's been questioned about those pens, Cooper too. They've been hanging over our heads for a week. There's no way, even if Nate were actually guilty of something, that he'd be dumb enough to leave them sitting in his locker. Ah, Eli's voice comes out like a sigh, but his head stays bent over his legal pad. So the police got involved, and they got a warrant to search the house Saturday morning, Miss Macaulay continues, and they found a computer in Nate's closet with his journal, I guess they're calling it. All those Tumblr posts that have been popping up everywhere since Simon died. I raised my eyes and catch my mother staring at me, kind of disturbed pity crawling across her face. I hold her gaze and shake my head. I don't believe any of it. Oh, Eli says again. This time he looks up, but his face remains calm and neutral. Any fingerprints? No, Miss Macaulay says, and I exhale quietly. What does Nate say about all this? Eli asks. That he has no idea how any of these things got into his locker or the house, Miss Macaulay says. Okay, Eli says. And Nate's locker hasn't been searched before this? I don't know, Miss Macaulay admits, and Eli looks at me. It was, I recall. Nate says he was searched the first day they questioned us, his locker and his house. The police came with dogs and everything, looking for drugs. They didn't find anything, I add hastily, but a sideways glance from my mother before I turned back to Eli. But nobody found Simon's things or a computer then. Is your house typically locked? Eli asks Miss Macaulay. It's never locked, she replies. I don't think the door even has a lock anymore. Huh, Eli mutters, scribbling on his pad again. There's something else, Miss Macaulay says, and her voice wavers. The district attorney wants Nate moved to a regular prison. They're saying he's too dangerous to be in a juvenile center. A chasm cracks open in my chest as Eli sits bolt upright. It's the first time he's dropped his impartial lawyer mask and shown some emotion. The horror on his face terrifies me. Oh, no. No. That would be a fucking disaster. Excuse my language. What's his lawyer doing to stop that? We haven't met him yet. Miss Macaulay sounds near tears. Somebody's been appointed, but they haven't been in touch. Eli drops his pen with a frustrated grunt. Possession of Simon's things isn't great. Not great at all. People have been convicted on less, but the way they got this evidence, I don't like it. Anonymous tips, things that weren't there before, conveniently showing up now, in places that aren't hard to access. Combinations, locks are easy to pick. The DA is talking about sending Nate to a federal prison at age 17. Any lawyer worth the damn should be blocking the hell out of that. He rubs his hands across his face and scowls at me. Damn it, Brown, this is your fault. Everything Eli's been saying has been making me more and more sick, except this. Now I'm just confused. What did I do? I protest. You brought this case to my attention, and now I have to take it, and I do not have time. But whatever, that's assuming you're open to changing counsel. Miss Macaulay? Oh, thank God. The relief surging through me makes me limp and almost dizzy. Miss Macaulay nods vigorously, and Eli sighs. I can help, I say eagerly. I'm about to tell Eli about the red Camaro, but he holds his hand up without a forbidding expression. Stop right there, Bronwyn. If I'm going to represent Nate, I can't speak with other represented people in this case. Could get me disbarred and put you at risk of implication. In fact, I need your mother to leave so I can work out some details with Miss Macaulay. But I look helplessly at my mother, who's nodding and getting to her feet, securing her handbag over her shoulder with an air of finality. He's right, Bronwyn. You need to leave things with Mr. Kefner and Miss Macaulay now. Her expression softens as she meets Miss Macaulay's eyes. I wish you the best of luck with all this. Thank you, Miss Macaulay says, and thank you, Bronwyn. I should feel good, mission accomplished. But I don't. Eli doesn't know half of what we do, and now how am I supposed to tell him? Addie, Monday, November 5th, 6:30 p.m. By Monday, things had gotten oddly normal. Well, new normal. Normal? Anyway, my point is, when I sit down to dinner with my mother in Ashton, the driveway is free of any news vans, and my lawyer doesn't call once. Mom just deposits a couple of heated-up Trader Joe's dinners in front of Ashton and me, and sits between us with a cutted glass of a yellow-brown beverage. I'm not eating, she announces, even though we didn't ask. I'm cleansing. Ashton wrinkles her nose. Ugh, Mom, that's not lemonade with maple syrup and cayenne pepper, is it? It's gross. Can't argue with the results, Mom says, taking a long sip. She presses a napkin to her overly plump lips, and I take in her stiff blonde hair, red lacquered nails, and the skin-tight dress she put on for a typical Monday. That, me in 25 years, the thought makes me even less hungry than I was a minute ago. Ashton turned on the news, and we watched coverage of Nate's arrest, including an interview with Eli Kefner. Handsome boy, Mom notes when Nate's mugshot appears on the screen. Shame he turned out to be a murderer. I push my half-eaten tray away. There's no point in suggesting that the police might be wrong. Mom's just happy the lawyer bills are almost over. The doorbell rings. Asha folds her napkin next to her plate. I'll see who it is. She calls my name a few seconds later, and my mother, who shoots me a surprised look. Nobody's come to the door in weeks unless they wanted to interview me, and my sister always chases those away. Mom follows me into the living room as Ashton pulls the door open to let TJ enter. Hey, I blink at him in surprise. What are you doing here? Your history book ended up in my backpack after Earth Science. This is yours, right? TJ hands a thick gray textbook to me. We've been lab partners since the first rec story, and it's usually a bright spot of my day. Oh, yeah, thanks, but you could have given it to me tomorrow. We have that quiz, though. Right. No point in telling him I've pretty given up on academics for the semester. Mom's staring at TJ like he's a dessert, like he's a dessert, and he meets her eyes with a polite smile. Hi, I'm TJ Forster. I go to school with Addie. She simpers and shakes his hand, taking in his dimples and football jacket. He's almost a dark-skinned, crooked-nosed version of Jake. His name doesn't register with her, but Ashton exhales a soft breath behind me. I've got to get TJ out of here before Mom puts two and two together. Well, thanks again. I better go study. See you tomorrow. Do you want to study together for a while? TJ asks. I hesitate. I like TJ. I really do. But spending time together outside of school isn't a step I'm ready to take. I can't, because of other stuff. I practically shove him out of the door, and when I turn back inside, Mom's face is a mixture of pity and irritation. What is wrong with you? She hisses. Being so rude to a handsome boy like that. It's not as if they're beating down your door anymore. Her eyes flicker over my purple streaked hair. Given the way you've let yourself go, you should consider yourself lucky he wanted to spend time with you at all. God, Mom, Ashton says, but I interrupt her. I'm not looking for another boyfriend, Mom. She stared at me like I sprouted wings and started speaking Chinese. Why on earth not? It's been ages since you and Jake broke up. I spent more than 3 years with Jake. I could use some downtime, I say. It's mostly to argue, but as soon as the words come out of my mouth, I know they're true. My mother started dating when she was 14, like me. It hasn't stopped since, even when it means going out with an immature man-boy who's too cowardly to bring her home to his parents. I don't want to be that afraid to be alone. Don't be ridiculous. It's the last thing you need. Have a few dates with a boy like TJ. Even if you're not interested and other boys at school might see you as desirable again, you don't want to end up on the shelf, Adelaide. Some sad single girl who spent all her time with that odd group of friends you've got now. If you wash that nonsense out of your hair and grow it a little and wear makeup again, you could do much better than that. I don't need a guy to be happy, Mom. Of course you do, she snaps. You've been miserable for the past month. Because I've been being investigated for murder, I remind her. Not because I'm single. It's not 100% true, since the main source of my misery was Jake, but it was him I wanted to be with, not just anyone. Mom shakes her head. You keep telling yourself that, Adelaide, but you're hardly college material. Now Now the time to find a decent boy with a good future who's willing to take care of... Mom, she's 17! Ashton interrupts. You can put the script on hold for at least 10 years, or forever. It's not like the whole relationship thing has worked out well for either of us. Speak for yourself, Ashton, Mom says haughtily. Justin and I are escapably happy. Ashton opens her mouth to say one more, but my phone rings and I hold up a finger. As I hold up my finger as Bronwyn's name appears. Hey. What's up? I say. Hi. Her voice sounds sick as if she's been crying. So I was thinking about Nate's case, and I wanted your help with something. Could you stop by for a while tonight? I'm going to ask Cooper too. It beats being insulted by my mother. Sure. Text me your address. I scrape my half-eaten dinner to the garbage disposal and grab my helmet, calling it goodbye to Ashton as I head out the door. It's a perfect late fall night, and the trees lighting our street sway in a light breeze as I pedal past. Bronwyn's house is only about a mile from mine, but it's a completely different neighborhood. There's nothing cookie-cutter about these houses. I coast on the driveway of a huge gray Victorian, eyeing the vibrant flowers and wraparound porch with a stab of envy. It's gorgeous, but it's not just that. It looks like a home. When I ring the doorbell, Bronwyn answers with a muted, "Hey." Her eyes drop in exhaustion, and her hair's come half of its ponytail. It occurs to me that we've all had our turn getting crushed by experiences. Me when Jake dumped me and all my friends, turned against me, Cooper when he was outed, mocked, and pursued by the police, and now Bronwyn when the guy she loves is in jail for murder. Not that she ever said she loves Nate. It's pretty obvious, though. Come on in, Bronwyn says, pulling the door open. Cooper's here. We're downstairs. She leads me to a spacious room with overstuffed sofas and a large flat-screen television mounted on the wall. Cooper's already sprawled in an armchair, Maeve sitting cross-legged in another, her laptop on the armrest between them. Brown and I sink into the sofa, and I ask, "How's Nate? Have you seen him?" Wrong question, I guess. Brown swallows once, then tries trying to keep herself together. He doesn't want me to. His mom says he's okay. Considering juvenile detention's horrible, but at least it's not prison. Yet we all know Eli's locked in a battle to keep Nate where he is. Anyways, thanks for coming. I guess her eyes fill with tears, and Cooper and I exchange a worried glance before she blinks them back. I was so glad we all finally got together and started talking about this. I felt a lot less alone. Now I guess I'm asking for your help. I want to finish what we started. Keep putting our heads together. Make sense of all of this. I haven't heard anything from Lewis about the car, Cooper says. I wasn't actually thinking about that right now, but please keep checking, okay? I was more hoping we could take another look at the Tumblr posts. I have to admit, I started ignoring them because they were freaking me out, but now the police say Nate wrote them, and I thought we should read through and know anything that's surprising or doesn't fit with how we remember things, or just strikes us as weird. She pulls her ponytail over her shoulder as she opens her laptop. Do you mind? Now? Cooper asks. Maeve angles her scream so Cooper can see it. No time like the present. Bronwyn likes me, and we start from the bottom of the Tumblr post. I got the idea for killing Simon while watching Dateline. Nate's never struck me as a news magazine show fan, but I doubt that's the kind of insight Bronwyn's looking for. We sit in silence for a while, reading. And when it creeps in and I realize I've been skimming, so I go back and try to read more thoroughly. Blah, 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 blah. I'm so smart, nobody knows it was me, the police don't have a clue, and so on. Hang on, this didn't happen. Cooper's reading more carefully than I am. Have you gotten to this yet? The one dated October 20th, about Detective Wheeler and the donuts? I raise my hand like a cat, picking up its ears in a distant sound. Bronwyn says, her eyes scanning the screen. Oh, yeah, that's a weird little aside, isn't it? We were never all at the police station at once. Well, maybe right after the funeral, but we didn't see or talk to each other. Usually when whoever's writing these throw in specific details, they're accurate. What are you guys looking at? Bronwyn increases the page size and points. There, second to last line. This investigation is turning into such a cliche. The four of us even got Detective Wheeler eating a pile of donuts in the investigation room. A cold wave pushes over me as the words enter my brain and nest there, pushing everything else out. Cooper and Brown are right, that didn't happen. But I told Jake it did.